Now it's time for Lefties Losing It. Let's start, Lefties, with Lady Gaga. Look, I've tried to ignore this bit of sad lunacy, but Lady Gaga has come out today crying about the supposed transphobic hate that has been out there after she decided to celebrate a man who mocks girls and girlhood, Dylan Mulvaney. She decided to celebrate Dylan Mulvaney as the symbol of womanhood for International Women's Day. Oh, surprise, surprise, there was a reaction. Now, let's have a look at the video that was posted that caused all this reaction.
I promise you, if you put your mind to it and you work hard and you never give up and you do not listen to the rejection, you can achieve anything that life throws your way.
The reason you were mocked, Lady Gaga, is because of all the amazing women in the world. You chose to celebrate the attention-seeking dude who mocks womanhood, or girlhood as he calls it. Remember this?
Day 66, being a girl, and today I'm in nature. Trees, I love them. Water, lakes, I love them. Heels, they're my hiking heels. I love them. Okay, come on. Meadows, love them.
Now let's check in with one of our favourites, comedian Alex Stein. I'll have him back on the show next week, and maybe he can explain this madness. Here he tries to access the free food and accommodation and other resources illegal immigrants are receiving in New York. It doesn't work out well.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here in New York City at the Roosevelt Hotel with my wife's boyfriend. We're going to try to get him a free hotel room for the night because the migrants should not get priority over my wife's boyfriend. Let's see what they say. Oh, we're here trying to get him a room.
No, you cannot. Yo,
We're trying to get him a room.
don't let him in the building, bro. Hey, don't let him in the building.
Hey, we're trying to get a room. We need a free room for him. No, wait. We need a room for him. Yeah, no, I know he. Wait, why not? No, we got to get a room. Hey, dude, he's not going to cook any rats. He's not going to cook any rats like these Venezuelans. Dude, we need a room.
Back up. You cannot come in here.
Come on. They won't give him a room. I don't know why they won't give him a room.
His wife's boyfriend, Don Terrius, was treated very shabbily there indeed. Now, let's have a lesson in plural identifying folk. Apparently, if you are not on board with people deliberately mangling the English language and identifying as a plural, then you're just a white supremacist.
Stop assuming folk who use a plural form of address live with DID or is a system. It is colonialism. There are plenty of indigenous folk and spiritual identities where plural forms of address is the norm, and these forms of address existed prior to colonialism. It is also not okay to ask plural people why they are plural. It's none of your business. Just use the correct form of address.
Oh dear, the delusion is strong with that one. The notion that other cultures are receptive to people identifying as neither male or female is frankly so spectacularly ignorant that only a lefty losing it would claim such a thing. Try travelling, lady, and you'll soon see no other parts of the world have any tolerance for this plural tomfoolery. Now, on Lefties Losing It, we have featured many Californian towns that are in utter decay, crime-riddled, dirty, dysfunctional, and Oakland has featured more than once. Remember this dude, Tyler Mims, stealing around $50,000 worth of merchandise from an Apple store and then walking right past a cop car without any fear. Well, I've got to say, I'm impressed by the elastic in those pants. That's impressive. But what's not impressive is the number of businesses that are closing up and moving out of woke utopia Oakland, including fast food restaurants.
Now, where another business is making changes because of safety concerns. Taco Bell is closing indoor dining at some Oakland locations. The fast food chain told us keeping a safe environment for employees and customers is their top priority. Drive-thrus, however, will remain open. Now, these closures mark another major fast food chain shutting down its indoor dining room in Oakland. Just last year, Raising Cane's near the Oakland airport closed its dining room. And In-N-Out announced it's closing its doors altogether because of the rise in crime. Their last day is on March 24th.
Let's end Lefties with a woke influencer who is seeking to scare the American people silly with what a second Trump term will look like. Here she details the sort of terrible policies Trump will implement if he's back in the White House.
First, he promises that he will carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in history. He will also ask for the death sentence for anyone convicted of human trafficking. He will close the Department of Education and return all education standards to the states to decide. He will put prayer back into school, and he will criminalize any race-based advantage programs.
So good so far. Is she trying to scare the public or make a pro-Trump campaign ad? It's hard to tell.
He will ban any federal dollars from going towards gender-affirming care, which means anyone with government-provided health care will no longer be able to access gender-affirming care except for Viagra and Cialis. Those will still be available. He will propose a constitutional amendment that gives a term limit to Congress. He will deploy the Department of Justice to investigate the Biden crime family and any of his adversaries or political rivals. He will immediately pardon all of the January 6thers, and he will create a task force to investigate anyone who arrested, charged, or imprisoned a January 6er. He will increase the penalties for underage criminal offenders, strengthen immunity for police officers, and deploy the National Guard to patrol woke cities. On day one, he will reassess our participation in NATO and says that every European country needs to pay the United States for protection.
Okay, now I'm thinking she's actually doing this on purpose. Just about everything she listed there, even with the added hyperbole, is hugely popular with much of the American people. And by the way, despite the misreporting you may have read, Trump forcing NATO partners to actually pay up strengthens NATO. That's a good thing, but let's go back to our woke TikToker.
He will kill all e-vehicles and e-vehicle legislation, seeking to replace that with the development of a flying car. He believes that we could create a car that vertically takes off.
Now that just sounds awesome. You've convinced me, ladies. Surely there's nothing else wonderful that you could tell me about a second Trump term.
He will remove all of the limits on American natural gas exports and drill baby drill for oil domestically. He will impose a tariff of up to 60% on Chinese imports. He will extend the 2017 tax cuts and drop the corporate tax rate from 21% to 15%.
Well, lady, don't threaten me with a good time. As a US citizen, if half that stuff happens, I think I'm going to be moving back.
And he will take billions and billions of dollars from private university endowments by taxing, fining, and suing the universities. He specifically names Harvard in this one. And then he will use that money to create the American Academy. It is a free online college that will be free of wokeness that he will force employers to recognize as a bachelor's degree equivalent. So that's Agenda 47.
Okay, this is how the Republicans can save millions in the lead up to the presidential election. Just play that young lass's clip over and over again. It's the best campaign ad I've seen.